How many of y'all saw the movie?
I saw it.
See,
Not yet.
I seen it. I seen it yesterday. Maji saw it, and I think Readout saw it.
Yep, but we're not going to go into spoilers, are we?
No,
We don't have to. Not all of us have seen it. I'm indifferent to
Historical
spoilers for the
event.
most
It's
part
based on true
myself,
story,
but that
so.
doesn't mean everybody listening is.
I'm
although I
familiar
think the
with this-
finale is purely fictional, so
I'm familiar at least with the story because I remember the interview with him, the actual guy that did it, like way back when, and that was quite interesting.
yeah, I mean the island raid was a real thing, so that's why I thought it was so bogus about the whole QAnon thing. Because again, this was written like 6 years before QAnon was even a concept. you
Yeah,
know?
Q's first post would have been October. Was it 29th or 30th? I first found the Q post on October 31st. I know it was like a day or two before he started posting, and I thought this is like grab the popcorn. This is fun. You know me. I love a good conspiracy theory. They're endlessly entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was what year was that? That was like 20.
That was 2017.
2017 is when that started.
so
Most
technically
people,
it predates the movie.
the movie that they started writing the script and everything. For
But
that
okay,
movie
but they wrote the
a
script.
few
That's
years
true.
before. Yeah, that they started work on that movie before Q became.
And I
a
think the
thing.
island raid itself, like the real raid, happened back in
2000
2013 or 15.
Yeah.
2014, I think.
It was a
14,
long
yeah.
time ago.
So it happened. You know, the real events happened way before any of the QAnon conspiracy actually happened. That's the point they're trying to make. So that's what inspired the whole writing, the story, those events. There isn't like anything remotely like political about this movie. Really, it doesn't get political at all.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
talked
I-
about
like jurisdictions of
we talking
the
about
Homeland Security.
the movie that
Sound
starts
of
with
Freedom.
sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, just
It starts
making
with
sure.
sound. But we
You
can't
know-
say the freedom part. We're not allowed to say freedom on YouTube. Is that a bad word?
I don't know. You never
I
know.
know, right?
You
Now,
know,
when a
never
clip
know.
of Mel Gibson's Braveheart shouting "Freedom!"
freedom. Anyway,
You can definitely tell it was an indie film, and it wasn't particularly well written. Like some of the dialogue, I felt was kind of flat to begin with, and not as deep in acting and characterization. That one Don, what was that Don guy that always had the cigar? He was my favorite character. I liked his acting. He had a great performance.
Oh, Vampiro.
yeah,
He's
Vampiro.
played by Bill Camp.
That's probably why. And then it was kind of weird because the movie had the final act in it, which felt like it made it drag on a little bit longer when it should have. Like it climaxed too soon. Giggity. But the island raid itself was like the whole main story of this movie. I don't know if the other part, like the whole Colombian extraction bit, was extra. If they like
No, it's real.
happened too.
That's how he got the sister back. It was in the interview with Tim Pool.
Interesting. I thought that was more the story.
It
for the
didn't
writing,
happen
like,
exactly the way that they portrayed it, but
well, yeah, no,
it
can't be
happened
like that.
it happened. That's how he got the sister back, was the jungle extraction.
And then they just started going to town getting everyone else. You know?
It will be interesting whenever the kids are able to give their interviews.
But honestly,
The
when
only-
it did that one line where you knew it was coming, and Don Vampiro was like, "Do you hear that?" And all the kids are, clapping and stuff.
Say the line, Bart.
I know, it's like he's gonna say the line. It's like, that's the sound of freedom. And the guy next to me, like, oh, like he didn't anticipate it. I'm like, you really didn't anticipate that was gonna happen,
It's okay, but it was said by the best
No?
character, so.
He didn't.
I just envisioned Peter Griffin in the audience going, "Ha!"
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much
that was kinda me.
this guy's reaction. I knew it was coming because of the question. Like, you hear that, and I'm like, okay, I know it's a sound. What's the sound? Yeah, Okay, a little gimmicky. I don't know about how. I
Well,
felt
you
about
gotta
that.
also remember though, these weren't independent writers, but English was definitely not their first language. It was.
Oh yeah, it was mostly in Spanish.
No, it's not even that. Okay, the whole movie was filmed by Mexicans. It was written by Hispanics. It was directed by Hispanics. It was produced by Hispanics. The only reason why the English lines sound real, like especially when they're talking in the Homeland Security office and stuff, was because the real Tim Ballard helped them write it to sound like conversations that he would have at work.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it's not that they're indie writers. It is they're like the director himself in the interview on Tim Pool said that he couldn't even speak English till 20 years ago.
Okay.
So it's not that the writing is shallow. It's written in a way that like you're learning English.
Yeah, that explains a lot actually, because the dialogue between Tim and his superior in the offices, and of course they got a better actor. Like I've seen that face before. To do those lines too, definitely felt like it was a different dialogue from like some of the scenes in the parking lot and stuff like that when they're talking, especially when the opening scene when he was with his Homeland Security buddy busting that pedophile. The dialogue kind of between them, like when they were trying to convey how this job like kills them, it just didn't feel like that emotional.
Yeah. But that's what it is. It's not that it's so much necessarily indie. It's Spanish being translated to English.
Yeah, so it's hard to convey that emotional translation, I guess.
Yeah.
Using the right words and everything.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, the writers...
Especially using words that are not your own.
The writers do speak English, but, I mean, most Hispanics, when they speak English, is more formal English and not... the way we're talking right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But that's Latino Slant was one of the few willing to cover this movie that's not, or that's in the U.S. That's Latino critics. The reason for that is he's like, this is a Hispanic movie. This is Latin representation. 90% of this movie was made by Latinos, but nobody's willing to cover it because it goes against Hollywood's agenda.
Yeah. By the way, did any of you happen to experience any difficulties at the theater, or everything went as normal?
None. It was fine, and the theater was packed. Everyone was watching this movie.
Fine by me.
Oh well, I can't be the one to judge that because I went to a mom and pop owned theater and they can't afford to lose audience.
Yeah, same.
I didn't go to one of those big AMCs.
Well, that's what I went to. Mine's at AMC. But San Diego's a little different down here. We're highly military town. There's a huge population for military families and stuff like that. So this type of movie is definitely going to attract that family, and they're not going to do anything to mess with that demographic because it's the military. You don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I heard
packed.
that the head of Angel Studios came out and addressed the whole theaters making it difficult issue, saying AMC has been very good to them and one of the best people they've had the chance to work with as far as in distribution goes, and they don't think that AMC is trying anything shady.
I think if there's sabotage, it's on the
individual level.
Yeah, there's some left-wing nut that works there.
Your social justice warriors that are operating there.
Yeah, it is weird. They're always so the activists on the left will always interject themselves into everything else like that when you don't see it from the other side. It's like, you know what? You guys on the left back off just a hair while you guys on the right turn it up a notch. Can you at least balance each other a bit? I mean, it's pretty lopsided, and I don't think I like the idea of it lopping either way.
So Christian was asking earlier about let me go pull back about how true were the events in the movie. So I don't know too much on this topic, but the little digging I did before I went to see the movie, the island is based on the real life Operation Triple Take.
The necklace is real too.
Yeah, according to I'm at their website, says the movie shows are right on an island. This is one of 3 coordinated takedowns that happened that day in Colombia.
Yeah, it was far bigger than the movie it depicts.
Yes.
Stormcrow, that's too far.
Take it easy, Stormcrow. Yeah, when they started mentioning the island thing, I mean, that's when the little conspiracy theory kind of like minded thing sets in and like, oh, are they talking about Epstein Island? Is this like an Epstein Island thing? But no, it's actually they did this. This is a real thing. I like how they put the CC footage,
maybe
like the actual
Epstein Island
Actually,
the sequel.
Peter Hollins has a music video on YouTube called "Scars to Your Beautiful." He actually, it's still there. It's still up. 6 years ago, was doing something with Operation Underground Railroad. He has the footage of the raids. He has more of it than what you see in the movie, in the music video.
Oh, wow.
That right there is debunks basically this whole Q thing whatsoever. I mean, it's all there. Yeah. I was watching the credits, and I'm like, I've seen these rooms. Where have I seen these? And then all of a sudden, the song started singing in my head. It wasn't the one that was in the credits. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen these.